So, yeah, this is the saddest part of my week now. It's just after 7 o'clock on Monday. And normally Sundays, or Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, I had video chats with the kids. But now that Mrs. Garcia has gotten a temporary restraining order against me based on the fact that I made disparaging remarks about her on the internet, based on the fact that she wouldn't let me see my kids. Now I don't get my video chats with the kids either. Now I'm out of my kids' lives completely until the restraining order hearing on the 31st. Now I don't think there's any grounds. There's no valid grounds for acknowledging the actual restraining order. I've known where they've lived for a month now, and I haven't been over there. I haven't made any kind of threats. I haven't ever physically assaulted anybody in at least the last 20 years. I may have been in a few scraps when I was a kid or something, but I'm 42 years old. I haven't thrown a blow in anger. Definitely for the last decade, probably for the last 2 decades, honestly. But there's a restraining order, so there's nothing I can do. I can't email my kids. I can't Skype with my kids. I can't write my kids. I can't call my kids. Not that I have a number to call them anyway. I can't send a present on Amazon. I can't tell a third party to tell my kids that I love them. I literally have no connection whatsoever with my kids now. And the thing that's hardest about it is I know how devastated they are, especially Grace. I was always the more attentive parent, always. Mrs. Garcia would, she wasn't Mrs. Garcia at the time, of course, but she would, just get loaded and sit on the couch and watch Netflix, and the kids would say, "Play with us, Mom." And she would say, "Mom just wants to relax right now," and she'd put on Netflix, just like super loaded, tons of vodka, tons of marijuana, always, every night, almost every night. But like me, I was like straight edge sober. I'd be laying on the ground playing solitaire, or playing memory with them, or playing chess, or reading to them, or coloring with them, or building Legos with them, just, always trying to do something. I was trying to make up for their mother's inattentive behavior by being extra attentive and giving them extra attention. And I know that they both miss me, and they both miss that. And Grace in particular is so devastated and misses me so much that I guess she's having trouble breathing. And despite the fact that she's so distraught that she can't even breathe normally, Mrs. Garcia will still not allow her to see her father. And obviously that makes me angry. Obviously I have things to say about that. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. But I can't say or do anything about it, because now there's a restraining order against me, and in the restraining order judgment that she wrote, it's like, this thick. It makes me out to be like Charles Manson, And it's all lies. It's like, 90% false, at least 90% just blatantly false, Talks about how I'm always screaming vulgarities and stuff, and anybody who knows me knows I don't hardly use vulgarities. I certainly don't scream vulgarities. If I use vulgarities, it's because my children are being abused by a a maniac, and it will be on social media, and it will be very calm and very thoughtful, because I have plenty of time to sit and think about how my kids are being treated and how they're suffering at the hands of Mrs. Garcia. And it's just so hard to be forced to sit by idly and know that your kids are being abused and not be able to do anything about it. Not even to be able to send them an email and say, hey, I love you guys, I miss you guys. I used Google Photos, and a bunch of photos came up of me and the kids last year in January, playing on the farm and eating berries and having French toast. Just, wonderful, beautiful memories. And normally I would email something like that to Everett and say, hey bud, remember this? I wish we could go back to the farm, and I wish I could still be your primary caregiver and feed you really well and take care of you really well and be the super attentive parent that I'm used to being with you. And but I can't. There's now a legal restraining order saying that I can't see my kids at all. In the restraining order paperwork, Mrs. Garcia claimed that the video chats that I was having with the kids was causing them undue stress. Not being kept away from their dad for 200 days. Not moving to the ghetto in the barrio and living with a strange man. And being fed garbage and watching TV all day instead of going hiking and swimming and all the other, super proactive, healthy activities we used to do. None of that. No, that's not causing the kids stress. What's causing the kids stress is that they get to video chat with their dad 3 times a week. That's what's causing the kids stress. And I mean, she's having the kids go to a child psychologist, which I would say would be good, but apparently she's somehow got this child psychologist to pronounce that the video chats with dad are in fact the problem causing stress in the kids' lives. Not the parental alienation, not the huge decrease in quality of life on every level, across every spectrum of what's important to a developing mind. None of that. Never mind that they're being dropped off at the YMCA, where they used to have a full-time, super attentive parent right there with them all the time. Never mind the financial security, the superior housing, the superior community, superior food, the constant outdoor activities with their peer group, all that stuff. I mean, I did so much research when I became a parent on what the best thing to do was as a parent, what the best strategy was for raising kids. And I followed it all to the letter pretty much. And now they're on a very different program. And Grace is so upset that she's having trouble breathing. And I'm so upset for them that I'm having trouble sleeping and eating and going to work and maintaining friendships, going to the gym. I can't find the motivation to do anything. I miss my kids, and I know they're suffering, and I know there's nothing I can do, and it's killing me. It's literally killing me from the inside out. And Day 202. Zero visitation. No criminal record. No criminal history whatsoever. I don't have one DUI. Their mother has two. I don't have any kind of drug problem. Mrs. Garcia used to work at a marijuana dispensary for an entire year and do dabs with the other managers in the back office. I've never lifted my hand in violence against anybody in at least 20 years. At least 20 years, maybe longer. I know I was in some scuffles when I was a kid, but I mean, that was, so long ago. It's like, I don't even think about it, obviously. I love you, Everett and Grace. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm still fighting, still waiting to hear from my lawyer. Trying to come up with paperwork that shows that I'm a good guy, But it's like, I don't know what to do now. Mrs. Garcia and her father are very good at legal paperwork. They're very good at understanding law and manipulating law in their favor. They've done everything in their power now to alienate the kids from their father. And so far they have been 100% successful. And, I've gone from lawyer to lawyer trying to find somebody to help me. And so far I haven't had any success. None. And I served Mrs. Garcia. I didn't know her name was Mrs. Garcia at the time, but I served her with the paperwork to get her to come to the courthouse and force some kind of discussion with the mediator about visitation, and instead she served me with a temporary restraining order, and we had to talk to the mediator separately, and now I have zero contact with my kids. Zero. None. Going on day 202. No. I don't even get the court-mandated video chats that I used to get before I got the restraining order. So, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know what else to do. I kind of lost hope, honestly. At this point, I'm just so discouraged and so depressed and so sad for my kids. So ashamed that I could have ever been with somebody who would do this to their own children. I love you, Everett and Grace. And I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, and I'm sorry.